Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NFL player props video. I was doing a deep dive during that WNBA playoff game. By the way, we hit both of our best bets in the first half. We could have laddered our players up to double their lines and they would have cashed for us. Unfortunately, I did not do that. But love a sweep, love a first half sweep even better. So I was doing a deep dive on the NFL props during that playoff game, and I found quite a few bets that I liked. And so I wanted to get on here and share them with you. I have 5 more player props to give you, 4 more leans, a teaser, and then a bonus bet, and then a couple touchdown calls. So I know I just put out a video earlier today, but here is another one, and this will be the last video. So first we're going to go over any totals, sides, and totals, sides, and spreads, my switches and my thoughts on that right before the games kick off. And then we'll also go over all those other bets. So let's jump into that. Okay, you guys, so here is your chance to take a screenshot if you want to. These are the best bets that I already gave out on the initial video on Monday for all of the game bets. We have a moneyline parlay, an alt totals parlay, and then 2 underdog money lines. And then here is the player props that I just gave out on the video that I posted this morning. The Joe Flacco one is wrong. I got it at 240.5, but it's not available at that number anyway, because it's down to 225.5, I believe. So anyway, that's one change for that slide. And then I gave out these touchdown calls as well on the video that I posted this morning. And so let's jump into all of the new stuff. So first, let's cover the game bets, the totals, the sides, the spreads. The Green Bay game has shifted a little bit towards the Browns, really. So the spread has shortened a little bit, which I think is the right move. So we'll change our Green Bay lean that was 8.5 on the spread to 7.5. And then we'll change we had the under on the game total, and that has moved down. So we'll keep the original number 42.5. I do think the Browns have a chance to win this game outright if you want to sprinkle on the money line. I am not personally doing that, but I do think that there is a chance that that happens. Green Bay is on the road here, so maybe they don't look as good as they did the first 2 weeks. And the Browns defense has honestly been elite. Even though they have lost their first 2 games, which were both division games, their defense has been elite. So we'll get into that a little bit later in the player props. So no changes for this game other than just getting the better line on the spread for Green Bay. In this game, in the Colts and Tennessee game, the spread has opened up a bit towards Tennessee, so we are making a switch here. I was on the Colts -3. I told you if you could get the 3.5 hook, then the Titans was not a bad look. And now that we're getting 4.5, I am making a full switch to the Titans on the spread. So we still are having the over at 43.5. I still like Indy to win the game, but I think it's a field goal game. So we'll take the Titans on the spread here at home. All right, the Cincinnati Bengals coming into the Minnesota Vikings. We were all over Minnesota. The spread has gone down to 3, which is in our favor. We were already on the 3.5. So we'll take the 3, and we were under on the game total 42.5. The money has gotten a little bit worse for both teams, really. If you want the Vikings, it's gotten a little bit better. So you could throw them into a moneyline parlay like I did, but that is pretty risky given the close spread. I just don't think it's going to be this close. I just don't agree. I just think the line is wrong. All right, Steelers and New England. This is the big one because this one has flip-flopped, right? No, this is not the flip-flop one. This one has stayed almost the same. It has opened up to 2 on the spread in some places. So if you like the Patriots, grab that 2. I wouldn't like the Patriots until it got to like at least 3. So I wouldn't even start considering it until then. Although I do think they have a chance to win. My best bet in the game is over on the total, but we did end up putting that in an alt total parlay. So we lowered the total and then put that in a parlay with another total is what we ended up doing. All right, the LA Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. We were on the Rams for this one and the under, and the total has moved down a little bit now, but the spread has also moved down to -3. So I'm glad that we got the Rams early at the 3.5, because I do think that they have a chance to win this game outright. And if not, then it might be a really close game like the Cowboys-Eagles game was. All right, New York Jets at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This has stayed pretty much the same, but that 7 is no longer available. I didn't see the 7 for the Jets anywhere that I looked. And I wanted to switch onto the 7, but since I'm not getting that hook, like I'm not getting the full touchdown, I will stay on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this one. All right, I would not put the Buccaneers in as your survivor pick, personally. I will not be doing that, and I don't recommend it, because I do think the Jets could win this game outright. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders and the Washington Commanders. I got on the Raiders early on Monday before I even knew Jaden Daniels was going to be out for this one. And so I got the Raiders +6, and I got the Raiders plus, I didn't get the 230 number. I got them at +150 on the money line, but the spread is now 3, and the total has tumbled significantly, all the way down from 47.5 down to 43.5 in some places. I still like the over. I liked the over before, but I was thinking, maybe I'll tease it down and then go over, which I think is what I did. Now I like it even more. So unfortunately, I already put that bet in on Monday, but I'd love the over on this total. All right, Atlanta at Carolina. The spread has opened up. So if you liked Atlanta, you should have got them early, because now the spread is 5 to 5.5. The total has started to move up as well to 44, but I was on the under, and I am staying on the under. I did tell you in the video that the Panthers should be at least 200 on the money line, and now they are at 200. So that could be an interesting sprinkle for a home team, but I will not be taking that. All right, Houston at Jacksonville. This game has stayed completely the same, other than the odds for the money lines have gotten a little bit better if you like either team. So you can get Houston at a better number now, and you can get Jacksonville. I guess the Jacksonville number is slightly worse, but it's practically the same. I got this early. I was on Houston on the money line early, so I did get the 102 number and not the 110 number, but either way, I like Houston to win this one outright. All right, Denver at the Chargers. This one has opened up to 3. I do think that is a key number. If you can find that 3 and you really like Denver +3, I don't think that's a terrible look. I'm not going to be on that. I'm on the Chargers side of things, but I am on the under 46. So, that total is moving up, and I think that's the wrong direction. It should not be moving that way. I think you could take an alt line. I said in this earlier video, I think you could take an alt line on the Chargers, like -5.5 or 4.5, but for the plus money. I think that's okay. I didn't do that though. All right, New Orleans at Seattle, the most popular survivor pick this week, most likely. I will have one survivor entry on Seattle, but I am hoping Seattle loses, because I want all of the survivor entries to die in my league. Hopefully there are a lot of them. I was cheering for the Miami Dolphins because there were a lot of Bills survivors in my league, and unfortunately that did not happen for me. These lines have not moved, so they have stayed exactly where they are. We were all on Seattle, on the Seattle side, but I don't like Seattle on the spread. I'm still leaning towards it anyway, and I'm on the under 41.5. All right, Dallas at Chicago. The Bears were the favorites. Now the Cowboys are the favorites. But guess what? I got Dallas as a underdog back in May, like a long time ago. So I am on Dallas as the underdog. And I like that the Bears are now the underdogs, for those of you who like the Bears. So I think everybody should be happy in this game. Whoever liked Dallas got the underdog early, and whoever liked the Bears can now take them for plus money. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good one actually to watch. Hopefully the Bears aren't a complete disaster. The Cowboys don't really have a great defense to contend with. So yeah, there should be a lot of points in this game. I do agree with the total, and I'm leaning over with that total. All right, Arizona at San Francisco. This one has opened up to San Francisco, which I think is weird, because I feel like I would have thought more money would have been coming in on the Cardinals. And so that doesn't make any sense to me, really. But that's what's happened. So apparently money is coming in on the 49ers. I was already on the 49ers at the 1.5. I think this total is going to go over. I think I might have put this teaser in the total. There's 3 totals we've talked about. 2 of them made it into the teaser. I can't just remember which ones, but it was on one of those first screens. But I like this total over the regular line. I like it if you tease it down and go over. I just like this division matchup to be an over spot. All right, Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. I was all over the Chiefs on this one. It has opened up to 6.5 in some places for the Giants. So if you like that number, I mean, you're not getting the hook still. You're not getting the 7. So I don't love it. But the money has gotten a little better on the Giants if you think they can win outright, which I do not. All right, Detroit at Baltimore. This is the last game on Monday. The spread, now you can get it anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5. So I do like the 4.5 for the Ravens. I was already on the Ravens. I liked the under at 51.5. Now I like the under even better at 53.5. I bet under on the Bills Ravens as well. Well, I didn't bet it, but I leaned on the under. And obviously that did not work out for me. So this could be the exact same. If you liked the Lions, you probably should have got them early because that is the line's moving towards them now, and the money line is a little bit less juicy than it was. All right, so here are the game bets again. Looks like we had the Steelers Patriots total teased down and the Cardinals 49ers total teased down. So luckily, we did not have to take that drop in the Raiders Commanders game where I liked that total as well. So I might go in actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Now that it's lowered, it's by itself by a couple of points. I might go in and just bet that all by itself. All right, I do have a new teaser for you in this game. So I'm going to take the Jets plus 14.5. This isn't like a 6-point teaser or a 7-point teaser. I just added whatever points I wanted. So I'm taking the Jets at 14.5, 2 touchdowns at the Bucks. I think they could win this game outright, but just give me 2 touchdowns, and I think I'll be happy with that. The Raiders plus 7.5 at the Commanders. I think they could win outright. So give me a few more points on it, and I love it. Even better. Seahawks minus 1.5 versus the Saints. Basically, they just need to not lose this game by more than a field goal. So, or by less than a field goal. So at least win this game by a field goal or more, roughly, and we should cash this one. So this is plus 137. I only do a half unit on my teasers, even though I have been really good at them. So maybe I should think about bumping it up to a unit, but they're very risky by nature. I should probably bump my touchdown bets down to half a unit because I've been doing a full unit on my touchdown plays, and those are very hard to hit. All right, the new player props that I have for you. Some of you guys are going to hold your nose at these, but I'm telling you they're good. So Tyrod Taylor or Tyrod Taylor over 209.5 passing plus rushing yards. So combo yards for Tyrod Taylor. CJ Stroud and Penix both went over this line, and they both rushed for at least 20 versus the Buccaneers. Taylor has hit this line 100% of the time over the past 3 seasons when he was the starter. So that's only been 4 games, but look who he's hit against. He's hit against the Buffalo Bills. He's hit against the Commanders, which they were not a good team back then. He hit against the Rams, and he hit against the Eagles. So these just were not pushover teams, and he got over 300 3 of those times. So I love this low line. I have seen it at 215.5 on other sites. I got this line at Boom Fantasy. If you guys ever don't believe me about where I get my lines, I'm happy to screenshot my bets for you and show you that this is where I got the line. All right, Josh Jacobs under 77.5 rushing yards. This was 78.5, but I could not find that number, so I got 77.5. You can also bet no touchdown for plus money. So that's just a little, I'm not doing that, but you could do that if you wanted to for some plus money. The Browns team has actually been number 1 in the NFL against the rush this year. So not Green Bay, who has been very good, not the Chargers, not the Chiefs, who have all been good against the run. The Browns have been the best against the run, and they've already played Derrick Henry and Chase Brown, who are like workhorse running backs. So is Josh Jacobs. He's a workhorse running back. Don't get me wrong. He's getting every single carry on this team. But he's under 55% of the time in away games anyway, since he's been on this Green Bay team, which is what this chart shows. And let's see who he went under against. He went under against the Vikings, good defense. The Lions, good defense. The Bears last year. Last year they had a good defense. The Rams, good defense. In fact, one of their players won Defensive Player of the Year. Or Defensive Rookie of the Year? Yeah, Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then the Titans actually had a really good defense last year as well. And so they went under against all of those teams. They went over against the Eagles, the Jaguars, the Seahawks, and the Eagles again. So I do not like this spot for Josh Jacobs. We're taking under. Derrick Henry, King Henry had 23 rushing yards. That's insane. And Chase Brown had 43. So Josh Jacobs with the Raiders in his career is 1-1 head-to-head with the Browns on this number. But that was on a different team, obviously. So one game, he went over 100. He had a really good game. The other game, he had a terrible game. All right, this is the sneakiest play of the day. Tyler Higbee is returning to the lineup for the Rams. And Tyler Higbee is an awesome tight end that Matthew Stafford loves, and he has definitely been missing him. So we're taking him over 21.5 receiving yards in his first game back. These games were all from last year. Oh, no, wait. He came back in the last game. That's right. Sorry about that. He missed the first game against the Texans. He came back against the Titans. We weren't sure if he was going to come back against the Titans or if he would even be back for this game either. We assumed he'd be back in the first 4 or 5 games sometime. Anyway, he did come back. He had 37 yards. He's over in 73% of away games, which is what this chart is showing, is the away games. And he had 20 and 54 in 2 head-to-head games, which is why they're setting this number at 21.5. It started at 20.5. 21.5, I've seen it. I've also seen it at 23.5. So it's probably going up. You can also get 2.5 receptions for a normal payout, if you prefer that, on Prize Picks for a normal payout right now. But I would not be surprised if we wake up tomorrow morning, and that is a goblin. Tyler Higbee is an awesome tight end for this Rams team, and Matthew Stafford loves him. So this is a good ladder candidate. I think you could take this safely. Let's see. They're playing the Eagles. I think you could take this safely up to like 35 for sure, maybe even 45. I'm probably not going to do that, but I did put this guy in one of my lineups already with like a 50% payout boost or a 75% payout boost, something like that. So I think this is a really good play. All right, Bryce Young under 20.5 completions. This one's a little scary, right? Because he is probably going to be passing the whole game, but I have a few ways that we can hit this bet. So first of all, head to head, he's only had 20, 18, and then 25 against the Falcons, but he had that 25 in a game that was in overtime. So, and I didn't check to see if he hit this in regulation, but that game went into overtime. I do not expect this game to go into overtime. I do not expect the Panthers to have a chance in this game. A couple of their offensive linemen are hurt, and they already have like a terrible, terrible defense. So, yeah, I'm not expecting much from them. Here are a couple of other things, though. Baker Mayfield, who is a great passer, only had 17 completions week 1 against this Falcons defense that has significantly upgraded since last year. And I don't think people are really starting to see it yet. They got a couple good edge rushers that have been great. And then they've been good against the run, and they've been good in their secondary. So I wouldn't say that top tier or anything, but compared to where they were last year, this Falcons defense is sneaky good. So they held Baker to 17. JJ only had 11. We went under on JJ's completions last week. He had 11, so that was the easiest cash I've ever seen in my life. I think we see something similar here with Bryce Young. And also, I do think it's possible he gets benched. I don't know that they would bench him this early, or if they are even thinking that they're going to bench him at all this season and just like write it off as a lost season. But Andy Dalton is still waiting in the wings, so it would not surprise me if Bryce Young only plays the first half, gets benched, Andy Dalton comes in and plays about the same. All right. On the season, or not on the season, but on his record over the last few years, he's under 60% of the time anyways against all teams. So he doesn't go over this line anyways against normal teams. He doesn't go over this line against the Falcons. The Falcons are playing better this year on defense. So I love this line. Travis Kelce time, guys. Travis Kelce time. Over 42.5 receiving yards. I like this up to probably like 65 because look at his like where he catches his balls. We all know he plays from the slot. 50% of his catches are from the slot. The other 50% are inline. So where do the Giants rank against the slot? 32. How many teams are in the NFL? 32. So they are dead last against the slot. Jake Ferguson just had 78 yards against this team, but that was on nine catches or something like that, 7 or 9 catches. I don't think Travis Kelce gets up to that many receptions quite, but I do think that he's a great yards after catch guy. He could probably get this on 3 or 4 catches, and I think he has more like 5 or 6. Now, we don't know who's going to be healthy for the pass catchers for Kansas City. If Xavier Worthy comes back, which he might do, then he'll be on the outside probably most of the time. Hollywood Brown will be in the slot. If he doesn't come back, then Hollywood Brown is going to have to play outside. And they're going to have a bunch of slot guys who we've never heard their names before. But Travis Kelce is obviously going to be one of those guys, and he's going to catch a lot of passes. This year so far, he's already been over this line twice, so I'm not sure why we're getting this line. I also like him for a touchdown at plus 155. I haven't bet that yet, but you could if you wanted to. All right, now we're getting into the leans section. So if you haven't seen my previous videos, leans are either a little bit riskier plays, or I'm just not as sure about, or sometimes they're just plays that are a lower payout, like they're not quite a normal payout, because my best bets, guys, are only regular lines. I only count best bets as regular lines. They're harder to hit, obviously, and so those are in the best bets record. I do track my leans as well. This lean is a normal line, but over 23.5 receiving yards for Alec Pierce. He is a deep threat guy, so that's the only place he catches his passes is deep. He's over in 83% of games without Anthony Richardson. That is crazy. When Anthony Richardson is not his quarterback, he is over this 83% of the time. That's over the last 2 seasons, and so far this year. This year, he's over 100% of the time. So he's done this twice already, but he only did it on 2 catches. So he is only going to catch 1 to 2 balls, but it's going to be a deep ball. I was looking at his longest reception as well, and I think that's a great play. So you could go with that instead if you like that better. I think it's pretty low. But I liked this one here because I think he can get this on 1 play, but he does have that upside to catch 2 balls, maybe 3. The secondary is not great for the Titans, so yeah, I do love this play here. Drake May over 23.5 rushing yards. I was not on this play at first earlier in the week. You know me, I love Drake May. Okay, we bet on him week 1, we bet on him week 2. He cashed for us. So I love Drake May, but his passing yards went up over the line that I wanted to bet it at, and so I ignored him. Well, now I'm coming back because I'm looking at his rushing yards. He's over in 71% of home games going back to last season. He's over in 1 of 2 games this year total, which, one of them isn't showing on the screen here because I'm just showing the home games on this chart. But Justin Fields had 48 rushing yards against this Steelers team. I don't know if they're equipped to handle a Russian quarterback as well as they think they are. Their defense is getting old. They might be getting a little bit slow. Drake May is young and fast. So I know Mike Vrabel and those other Patriots coaches were watching the tape on that Jets-Steelers game, and they saw what Justin Fields was able to do to them. Drake May is going to do the same. All right, Devonta Smith under 4.5 receptions. He's gone under in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight games going back to last season. He's under in 70% of games overall, where A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert are both playing, which is what this graph is showing. So this graph is showing games with A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert healthy. And Devonta Smith just does not clear this line against them. He only had 1 catch against the Rams and 4 catches against the Rams in the 2 head-to-heads that are on this chart. So I do like this one. I have not bet it yet, but I like it. Bo Nix over 20.5 rushing yards. This one's a lean because it's a little scary. I think he can do it, but I also worry that the reason they drafted RJ Harvey and brought in Evan Ingram is so that Bo Nix would not have to run, because I don't think Sean Payton wants his quarterback getting hurt. So he is over 100% of the time in the head-to-heads from last year, but he's under 100% of the time in both games this year so far. So I do think there is a little bit of a shift in what he was doing last year versus what he's doing this year. Mahomes, though, he did have 57 against this team on 6 attempts, and Geno Smith had 20 on 5 attempts. Bo Nix is a little bit better runner than Geno, and honestly, he's probably a better runner than Patrick Mahomes as well. So I expect him to dink and dunk his way down the field like he always does. and now they have more people to dink and dunk to. But I do kind of lean towards him at least clearing this line on 3 rushes. All right, ladder opportunity on Nico Collins. You could bet his regular line, which is right around 68, something like that. Let me explain why this is just like a lean. This isn't like I'm not telling you to do this. Because last year, or well, in all the head-to-heads, last 2 previous years, Nico has gone over 100 yards in 3 out of the 4 of them. So insane. You could ladder him to 100. This year, however, the Texans are really struggling. Like, they look bad. They look really bad. I mean, they traded away like their best like O lineman. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So, and it was already bad. And so I don't know if they can do it. This is like a smash spot for CJ Stroud and Nico Collins to both go way over their lines. But I'm scared off of it because they played so badly. But they did play 2 playoff teams from last year. So maybe when they play the weak, the Jaguars, who they tend to destroy, maybe they do a little bit better. I just wanted to throw this out here for your consideration because 272 is a juicy number for someone who's done this 75% of the time. So just throwing it out for you. All right, a bonus bet. This is a plus money bet. Jonnu Smith over 3.5 receptions. Ridiculous. We should not be getting plus money for this. This should be an even line at best. So he had 5 and 4 in his last 2 games. So he's cleared this line easily. In week 1, Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers. Michael Mayer had 4. Brock Bowers had 5. And nobody in the NFL schemes more passes to tight ends than Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So nobody. And last year we saw Aaron Rodgers throw to Tyler Conklin so much that they were able to trade him to the Chargers because he looked so good. So yeah, I think Jonnu is getting like 6 receptions here. And I think this is a ladder opportunity. So you could bet 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. I'd probably stop at 5.5. All right, Ricky Pearsall, I mentioned this in a previous video that I liked him for a touchdown. It is plus 200. I do think that's a good number, so you could take that. He had a touchdown against Arizona last year. So that's all I got for you on that one. It's a long shot. We probably should be getting more money for it, but because he's been playing so well, we're not. But I still think that's good enough money to take it. All right, here's just stuff. I didn't know what to call this. This is stuff that I'm thinking about, but I didn't like the line enough to even give it out as a lean. This could be a buy low spot on Ashton Genty. So his line is pretty low. His rushing line is pretty low. And he's favored to get a touchdown. So you could bet over on his rushing yards, I think, in a game where, the Commanders haven't really been great at stopping the run. They've just played the Giants, and then Josh Jacobs destroyed them. So we don't really know what they look like against the run because they played a really bad team and then they played a really good team. So they haven't played anyone in the middle here. But I think this is a buy low spot for Ashton Genty on his rush yards. I have not gone in on it. Don't know if I will. I don't know. And then 2 quarterbacks here who their passing yards total just doesn't match their completions. So Jalen Hurts, his passing yards are right around 200 and his completions are like 18, 19 and a half. That's wrong because when Jalen Hurts doesn't go over 200, he usually throws like 14 completions. When he throws any more than that, he goes over 200. So one of those lines is wrong. I don't know which one. I would probably lean towards the passing yards line being wrong, and he's going to go over his passing yards line, but I don't know for sure. On Mac Jones, kind of a similar situation. He's right around 200 on his passing yards. His completions are like 19 and a half, or I think it might have even been in the 20s, you guys. So one of those is wrong. Either he's going over his passing yards or he's going under his completions, most likely, especially because both of these quarterbacks are not dink and dunk quarterbacks. Like the most dink and dunk quarterback there is Bo Nix. And these guys do not do that as much. I mean, all of them do. All of them get the first down. But they throw a lot more long passes, right, than Bo Nix does. All right, Stafford's passing yards seem too low, around 225 against the Eagles. He's gone over, I think, every time he's played them. So that just does seem a little bit too low for him. All of his pass catchers are healthy. He's got Tutu Atwell, he's got Tyler Higbee, he's got Jordan Whittington, he's got Puka Nacua, obviously, and he's got Devontae Adams. So that seems too low, but I'm not going in on it. I don't know how to explain it. I just have too much money already bet, and so I'm not going in on it, but it's too low. And then I think you can attack the slot versus the Chargers, but I don't know which player on the Broncos it's going to be. So Marvin Mims, Evan Ingram, or Troy Franklin. One of those guys is going to have a great day. And I just don't know which one it's going to be. So I'm not going in on it. But if you have a read on which of those three guys you like, go for it, because the slot is a place where you can target the Chargers. All right, here is the summary of the best bets, the 5 best bets I just gave you, and the 4 leans. And then you can take a screenshot. I'm not going to read through it. And then here is the teaser, the new teaser, the new bonus bet, and then the touchdown call, the new touchdown call for this video. Also, I wanted to bring up Hunter Renfrow. I did look up his touchdown odds, and they are 370 to 400, depending on where you're looking. So you're getting good odds on him. So if I already have gone in on Chuba at plus money and Tetaroa McMillan at plus 200, so I got really good numbers on them. And so I'm not going to go in on the Hunter Renfrow after he just had 2 touchdowns last week, but he's in the slot, and that is the only place where the Falcons have given up touchdowns this year. So he's in a great spot at a good number. I think it's worth a sprinkle if you want to bet on a Hunter Renfrow touchdown for the money, because the money is good. All right, and then this is the summary for all of the game bets. So if you want to screenshot this and see where I am on every single game, obviously we already hit the Buffalo money line, but we did not hit Buffalo on the spread, and the under did not hit either. So this is just where I track all my game bets. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. I'm going to go back here. If you want to get into the mix for this video specifically, you're going to have to choose from this screen. So just choose 2 of the best bets. I will also let you choose the leans because I got these at normal lines. The only one that's not normal is the Devonta Smith line, but I'll let you choose it because I'm a nice guy. So just choose 2 out of these bets on this screen that you think are going to hit. And if they do, you'll be in the running for some free cash from me with everybody else who also got their 2 picks correct. All right, thanks, guys. I know it's really late at night. I'm super tired, and I want to sleep so that I'm ready for college football tomorrow. We did give out 6 game bets and like 7 or 8 college football props. So if you want to go check out that video, let me know what you think in the comments. And you can get in for the cash giveaway on that video as well. Thanks, guys.